Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my fifth episode. And today I'm going to walk you through how we can underwrite a property as a short-term rental. But this is going to a quick napkin underwriting. If the number actually makes sense, then you will definitely need to dive deeper and making sure you get multiple data points for different things and do the deep analysis, make sure that that's actually a good property for your short-term rental. Okay, so this property is in Florida in Winter Haven. Let's see. So this is the actual property. It actually looks pretty nice. We can see the front yard seems to be turf. Yeah, the kitchen is white, stainless steel, looks really nice. They have a very nice pool. It's very close to a lake. They also have some game table here, game stuff. Yeah, it's actually very nice Airbnb property. Looks good. They also have gym equipment. And they have laundry. Yeah, I think the design is not bad. It's good. So this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and 1999 square footage. And so from Zillow, it shows that it's actually $350,000. So this is the price I put it here. And I found two comps. I'm not going to walk through the comps. It's pretty recent. And so if you're interested in how I find the comps, please review my previous episode. I actually dive more in terms of how I find comps, what kind of properties that would be considered to be comparable properties for this to the subject property. So after plugging these two comps, we know that the subject property ARV is about this much, which is similar, and our listing price is slightly lower than this, which is good. Okay. So the wholesaler basically says the entry fee is 30K, include cash to seller and assignment. If I were very interested in this property, I would definitely go back to the wholesaler asking for the breakdown for the 30K. But right now I'm just trying to guess all the numbers. Say I put it as 10K. So if 10K is the down payment being the cash to seller, then probably the assignment fee would be like 20K. So that's what I put there. And then the seller carry 58K. The seller carry 58K is basically it's basically the seller finance loan, meaning that the seller become our bank, and we just pay the monthly payment to the seller. And from PropStream, I actually find that the properties remaining the property's original loan is about this much, and the interest rate is 2.98, not 5%. So there are discrepancies. It's always best to get the mortgage statement from the wholesaler, so just so that we can verify everything. And from PropStream, I also know that it's 30 years, and this is the first pay date. Then I get the monthly loan payment, principal plus interest being $1,300. And the subject to loan amount, this is actually the number I get from PropStream, is $296,000, which is slightly more than what the wholesaler's number is. So I would just go with what the wholesaler number is. Yeah. And so the purchase price basically is breakdown to down payment, remaining sub 2 loan, which is the sub 2 loan here, and plus the seller finance loan, $58,000. And I break it into 16 years, so they give me about $300 monthly payment to the sellers to pay off this $58,000, which is very similar to what the wholesaler's term here. It says 300 monthly payment to seller for 10 years with a balloon payment for the remaining balance. So we also plug in the balloon here, 58,000, 10 years, and then the balloon payment is about, based on this calculation, is about $21,000, $21,448, very close to the wholesaler's number here. Okay. So the subject to principal and interest 1306 from here is being plugged in here. And then we have the seller finance payment being $302. Then we get the property tax. From PropStream, I get the current assessed value is $245,000 and the property tax is this much. And with the current asking price, $350,000. So this is the new property tax we are going to pay. But if you are the buyer yourself, it's better that you actually first check the state if you're going to pay different property tax, because you are not, or as an investor, you may have to pay more as an investor. So verify everything, and also going to the county assessor's office, because PropStream, it doesn't guarantee to have all the number correct. So it's important to go to the county assessor's website to verify the actual property tax and the assessed value, so that we can get the new value correct. Then to calculate the insurance, so what I did, the PITI is $2,166, and so PITI minus the PI and minus the seller finance payment 302, and minus the property tax. The property tax would not be this one, would be the previous property tax to all the current property tax, $3,936, and I divide it by 12. So see, that's my formula. So with this formula, I get $230. That's my insurance. Then my insurance times 1.2, because I think from PropStream, I actually learned that this is owner-occupied property. And if I were buy it as an investor, I will rent it out as a short-term rental here. So it would definitely be more. I am putting it as 1.2. Part is too conservative. Maybe let's just put it as 1.3. Okay. Then we know that there's a solar monthly payment. I just put 253. And so if you rent out as a short-term rental, you actually will have to pay for the water. I put 100. Heat, I'll probably also put 100. Garbage, I think, where I live, I know like about $20. Maybe I should put 40. Okay, electricity, let's just put 150. That's actually pretty conservative. And then the internet, I would say at least probably around $100 as well. So there's not much, so it's turf, but you will still need to do the cleaning. Yeah, so let's just put $50 here. And then the other expenses, property management. So since this is I'm going to underwrite it as an Airbnb, so the property management will be at least 15%. So 15%, and vacancy. I'm going to factor in the vacancy in the actual rent amount. So this, I just put it as 0. Maintenance and CapEx, I put 20%. I would say it actually should be more, but let's just put it 20% first. So now let's break down the entry cost. So there is 10,000 down payment, agent commission, because this is on market listing, so 2.5%. Renovation, I would say if you want to rent it out as an Airbnb, anything relates to the water is better to be upgraded, because you don't want headache down in the future. Maybe you also want to upgrade its mattress just to make sure your units will actually stand out in the market. And also, the other thing that you want to do, just check out the surrounding units, and like anything that you see is actually successful, is actually operating successful as an Airbnb units, and try to find the component that actually makes it successful and plug it into your own Airbnb unit. So anyhow, this means that if you want to rent it out as a short-term rental, I would say the renovation cost would be at least $8,000 here, even though the property is actually in pretty good shape, because you probably want to do multiple upgrade. And the closing cost is standard, and the assignment fee is $30K, and with $10,000 down payment, I put it as $20,000. And the monthly carrying cost is, I just leave it as it is. Okay. Now let's see how I can find what's the actual Airbnb income. So this is really a quick napkin analysis. If you're serious about it, I would definitely recommend you to go use some other website to do a comprehensive market analysis for the Airbnb unit that you are interested in. So the way I do it, I go to airbnb.com and I put in the address. This is actually our subject property, and I play with the date so I can find all the surrounding Airbnb. So I found these three. Okay, this one is basically this. It's a lakefront Airbnb, so this is not applicable to us. We are not lakefront. And for this one is basically this one here, and you can see it actually has pretty nice view. The pool has very nice view. It seems that it has a jacuzzi pool as well. It's also lakefront. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathroom, similar, but the amenities are definitely much better than our subject property. So this is not comparable. So the only thing I see is comparable is actually this one. I believe is property. Let's take a look at the picture. I would say our subject property seems to be better, more modern looking, and the kitchen is also better. Our subject part has the stainless steel appliance, but not this property. Yeah, so this is being rented out as $199 per night. So what I did, I play around the dates a little bit. Say that was September. Let's say how about June? So 203. Okay, good. But it's similar price. What about April? So 198. Okay. What about February? 198. Okay. Let's see. What about December? It's cold. 203. So it's about $200 per night. And yeah, so I would say for our property, let's take a look at it again. I do think it's nicer. The location is comparable to the other one. It's not lakefront. We have a pool. I think they also have a pool. Yeah. We have more amenities that we can provide to the guest. I would say, yeah. So let's just be conservative. I would say maybe we can rent it out for 220. So 220. Okay. Then I also went to AirDNA. So it's give me, I put in the markets. It give me the occupancy rate. It is about 55%. So actually, I would recommend if you want to really underwrite as a short-term rental, go to the price lab. It's if you put in the property, it can give you a list of properties that is in the surrounding area. Then you can also see its revenue and its occupancy rate. So that will actually give you more data points that you can go and validate to see what's the highest occupancy rate, why this property actually has such a high occupancy rates, and what kind of property they actually like give you like a range of the occupancy rates. But here, because we are just doing a quick napkin underwriting, so I just put this 55% here. I just put a 55% in the formula here. So what I did, $220 per night times 365 days times 0.55. So this will be my annual revenue from a short-term rental. Then I divide it by 12. So this will be my short-term rental monthly income. Okay. So let's see if actually cash flow. Okay. So the income is this much, but then we do have a lot of expenses because we have to pay all these things. Okay. And we also have to pay more on the property management. Plus there will be high maintenance because guests will be in and out. So all this adds up together is actually, we see that it's still negative cash flow, 776. We're losing $776 per month. Yeah. I don't see there's much wiggle room here because you say even if we lower the seller finance loan, it's the maximum we can lower is $300, but we are negative cash flowing $776 here. So there's really not much wiggle room. So based on my quick analysis, I don't think that's a good short-term rental property. So that's all for today. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please let me know your feedback and please let me know what kind of content you would like me to